All right, this is an interview with Chris Morgan, and our subject is character development and sporting behavior. Um, you can start by introducing yourself and what you do and stuff like that.
My name's Chris Morgan. I serve as the chaplain for the university. Also serve as the director of player development here for the football team.
Okay. First question is, what morals do you think are important in someone with good character?
Well, I think good character has to start first of all just with trust. You know that young people or whoever you're working with has to have they have to trust you. So I think trust would probably be the first. I think second, which kind of go with trust, but would be integrity. You know, integrity of doing what you say you're going to do. And after a while, people will know. They will know that you're going to follow through with everything that you tell them you're going to do.
Okay. And as a role model, do you believe that your actions have a big impact on the youth?
Yeah, I believe we live in a world where everybody's watching you. They're watching not what you say or not listening to what you say, but they're watching what you do. So yeah, I believe that everyone's actions are leading our youth one way or leading them the other. So as for me in my house, you know, what we want to do is we want to be people of character. We want to do what we say we're going to do, establish trust with the people that we're around, and take them to a direction where we feel like is worthy of going.
Okay. And this is a big topic, especially in the last year. Do you think that a player with different sexual orientation affects a team chemistry in any type of way?
You know, I think again, I think people it's all about trust. I think if people trust you, do I? Personally, I don't understand that lifestyle. However, I can look through a person and see whether they're heterosexual, whether they're homosexual. They're to be loved. And even though I may not agree with a certain lifestyle, that is a human being that I feel like deserves the same kind of respect, love, and compassion that everybody has. So I think it all comes down to character and trust of who you are as a person.
To go along with that, do you think that different sexual orientation in sports is more accepted today than it was in the past?
Yeah, I definitely think it's more accepted. I think
why?
I think our world has changed. I think a world, whether we agree with it or not, we've changed. We're open to certain things nowadays that we wouldn't have been 30, 40, 50 years ago. I think it comes with maybe some people understanding certain lifestyles, backgrounds, whatever it may be. I think it's definitely more. Whether somebody views that as being right or wrong, I think yes. Nowadays, I think it's definitely lifestyles are more accepted nowadays.
And, in your opinion, has the sportsmanship of athletes changed from your generation to today's generation, and how and why?
Oh, I definitely think that it has changed a lot. I think it's changed in a numerous different ways. I think the talent level has went up. People nowadays are faster, they're bigger, they're stronger. When I played, there's no way that a bigger guy could run a 40 fast or could go with endurance or could hit as hard and as strong. But nowadays they are. Do I think the character aspect of it has changed a lot? Yeah, I think we nowadays, no offense to you guys, I feel like that we live in it's all about me mentality now. I'm gonna get mine. Whereas I don't think 15 or 20 years ago people thought about getting mine. It was about for the better of the team. How can we better this group that we call brothers? And I think I think people just kind of grew up maybe a little bit different, but now people want to get paid. People want to know what's in it for them. So I think it's changed in that aspect.
Okay. how big of a role does a person's family play when it comes to character development?
I think it a lot. I think if you have a young man that does not have a relationship with his father, he comes here on campus, and now you got males that are trying to push him in a different direction, or just kind of regulate his life. And this young man's not used to seeing a male figure in his life, and now you got somebody telling him what to do. He's not used to that. Versus a person that may have come with is it stop?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Whereas if you have someone with a two-parent home, they may be used to mom and dad when they get home from practice having a pan of brownies waiting on them. But some guys aren't like that. So whether that's good or bad, I think you got different. It's changed a whole lot. Trust. Trust may not be developed, whether you have one parent at home or two. You can have two parents at home and neither one of them at home, really. And so the young man or young lady has to learn to defend for themselves, provide for themselves. And I think young men and women nowadays are forced to grow up a lot sooner than what they did maybe 15, 20 years ago.
And how big a role do you think religion plays when it comes to character development?
Me personally, from my side, I think it plays a big part. I am a believer. I am a Christian, and therefore, as I read the Bible, it says things like, "Whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it with all of your heart, as working for the Lord." Whether that's running the vacuum, or whether that's in the weight room, or whether that's whatever it may be, I want to do all I can to not just be good, but to be great. Because it's not so much for me, but because God has given us all the same thing called time. And how are we going to invest our time? So to me, it's a great thing as far as religion, because you're playing, you're competing, you're living for something bigger than yourself. And to me, faith is a big component of that.
Okay. And how do you think drugs and alcohol can affect someone's character development?
I think drugs and alcohol impair who you are. I think it's kind of hard to develop character when you're doing something that is against the law. If something is against the law, but yet you continually do it, you're not showing much integrity, and you basically are living a life of duplicity. And it's kind of hard to differentiate what kind of person you are. If you're going to live for yourself, then you'll do those things. But if you're living for the team and for a higher calling, you want to compete according to the rules. And so I think a person that is impaired with drugs or alcohol, that first of all, let's try to get them help, for the addiction that they have. Second of all, the individual probably needs to realize that he's part of something bigger. And people are counting on him, because there's no greater feeling than being counted on. So maybe we can kind of convince him or her not to be selfish and think about yourself, but think about the team.
Right. And so my last question: do you have any example of someone that came here and you saw improvement in their character and you saw them improve? Can you give an example of someone?
Yeah, there's hundreds of examples.
Right.
I think it's impossible for a young man or a young woman to step foot on this campus with a coachable, teachable heart and not leave better than the way they came.
Right.
Whether that's athletically, whether that's academically, whether that's mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I think of Bilal Powell, that's now playing for the Jets. That Bilal came from a broken home. He was part of a gang in Florida, came here, didn't trust a lot of people. I remember him walking off the practice field. He was going to quit and go home. And I remember just kind of going over and talking to him just about, why you're here. the purpose. Because when people understand their why, things start to change. And so just to watch that young man understand what his why was all about, and finish what he started, and now he's playing professional football. He's married, 2 kids, and just to see where he was, and now where he's at, and where he's continuing to go. But there's all kinds of Bilaals. There's all kinds of Teddy Bridgewaters. There's all kinds of Charles Gaines. There's all kinds of Trevion Young. There's all kinds of people that are just bettering themselves.
Okay. All right, Chris, thank you. Appreciate it.